Good YouTube? It's your boy, Blue Blood Sports TV, back at y'all with another one. So, we have some very, very interesting news. As we saw undefeated two-time WBC super middleweight world champion, Mexican superstar boxer David Benavidez, who is now 25 wins, no losses, no draws, 22 wins by way of knockout, 24 years of age, stands at 6'1", with a 75-inch arm reach. He defeated Kyron Davis by a 7th-round stoppage victory as he just overwhelmed him. David Benavidez, he's looking to face off against now 4-division world champion Mexican superstar boxer who is currently the undisputed super middleweight world champion and widely considered by many to be the #1 best pound-for-pound fighter in the world after he defeated former IBF super middleweight world champion superstar boxer Caleb Sweethand Plant. With that said, Canelo Alvarez, everybody wants to know in this sport of boxing, what's next? Okay, we have a case of quick short memory. Okay, when it comes to the sport of boxing, you immediately wants to know what's next, and it's being widely speculated that Canelo Alvarez is going to face David Benavidez in his next fight, May 7th, Cinco de Mayo weekend, Las Vegas, Nevada, at the T-Mobile Arena. With that said, David Benavidez, he stated on numerous occasions that he feels Canelo Alvarez is avoiding him because Canelo Alvarez, he has he petitioned to fight for the WBC vacant belt after David Benavidez lost the belt on the scale. Okay, David Benavidez didn't lose the belt in the ring. He lost the belt on the scale. So with that said, David Benavidez, he stated that Canelo Alvarez has been avoiding him. And it's starting to look like that. Because now reports are, my sources are telling me, Canelo Alvarez, who is a network free agent, is a promotional free agent. He's his own promotional network, and he does co-promotion with other promotions. His last fight with Caleb Plant was with the PBC, Premier Boxing Champions, founder and advisor Al Heyman, and it was on Showtime pay-per-view. With that said, he stated that he loved the way he was treated. They rolled out the red carpet, and he's more than willing to do business with them once again. So that left the door open to see Canelo Alvarez versus David Benavidez, who with the PBC, and Canelo Alvarez with, a possible showdown with undefeated 2-division world champion, who's the WBC reigning middleweight world champion superstar boxer Jamal Lyons Only Charlo. Okay, once upon a time was Canelo Alvarez mandatory at middleweight. So with that said, Canelo Alvarez, moves as he so chooses. Okay, and now his manager, who's trainer of the year once again, Eddy Reynoso, he's stating that David Benavidez is not ready for Canelo Alvarez, maybe in a few years. Now, we know Canelo Alvarez, he's on record stating that he's not interested in fighting other Mexican fighters because it just goes against his beliefs, okay? He'll fight every other fighter, but he don't want to fight Mexican fighters because it goes against his beliefs. So with that said, he's on record as saying this, okay? But Canelo Alvarez also stated that if the time presented itself and he had no choice because it's a business, then he will go ahead and fight. Well, if he truly wants to clean out the super middleweight division, David Benavidez is his guy, because once upon a time, David Benavidez was considered the best super middleweight in the world. And the biggest fight in the super middleweight division was David Benavidez versus Caleb Plant, but he lost his belt outside the ring for recreational use. And then he lost his WBC title after he regained it against Anthony Durrell. He lost it on the scales most recently, and Canelo Alvarez immediately petitioned the WBC World Boxing Council, President Mauricio Suleiman, and the board to fight Avni Yildirim, longtime sparring partner and close friend of Canelo Alvarez, for fight for the vacant title. Now, Avni Yildirim hadn't fought in 2 years and hadn't had a win in over 2.5 years, okay? Because he lost to Anthony Durrell. And David Benavidez wasn't happy because David Benavidez, he stated, why didn't Canelo Alvarez petition to fight me when I had the belt? He waited until I lost the belt to immediately petition. And out of 32 board members on the WBC board, 31 voted that Canelo Alvarez should be allowed to fight for the vacant WBC title. Okay, that didn't sit well with David Benavidez, obviously. Okay, so now Eddy Reynoso is stating that Canelo Alvarez is such a hot commodity, which he is. He's the face of the sport of boxing currently right now. He is the cash cow in the sport of boxing. Okay, not named in the heavyweight division because Deontay Wilder, Tyson Fury, they're doing the same numbers. But as the heavyweight division goes, so goes the sport of boxing. So essentially, they get put off, right? Because they're in a category of their own. So with that said, Canelo Alvarez is that, okay? He represents that. The biggest gate, $18 to $20 million gate. He also did, 800 to 850,000 pay-per-views, very successful, and so with that said, he's no doubt the face of the sport of boxing right now. And so he has the pick of the litter. So Eddy Reynoso is stating that David Benavidez is not ready. Well, how could David Benavidez not be ready when David Benavidez was viewed to be the better fighter out of he and Caleb Plant? David Benavidez was viewed to be the better fighter out of he and Caleb Smith, who was the WBA, World Boxing Association's champion. David Benavidez was viewed as the better fighter out of him and Billy Joe Saunders, undefeated two-division world champion, who was the WBO, World Boxing Organization, super middleweight champion. So David Benavidez was viewed as the best fighter in the division. Now, age-wise, Caleb Plant is 29. Billy Joe Saunders is, I believe, 29, 30 years old. And Caleb Smith is around the same age, okay? Yes, he's the younger of the group, but he's seen and viewed as the better fighter. What's odd about this is they're saying he's not ready, right? But they pressed the fight to fight legendary, iconic, retired Hall of Famer, 5-division world champion, former pound-for-pound king and pay-per-view king, the man known as Money, retired undefeated Floyd Money Mayweather. They petitioned to fight him at 23 years of age. Now, they had won the title and successfully defended it 4 or 5 times before they fought him, but they was only 23 years of age. David Benavidez will be 25 next month. How could he not be ready? Right? He's fought top-notch opposition that was available to him at his discretion, and he's knocking everybody out. He's big, he's exciting, and he's calling for the fight, just like they were calling for the fight, and they were saying that Floyd Mayweather was avoiding them, as Floyd Mayweather allowed Canelo Alvarez to be featured as his co-main event on numerous occasions. Okay? Now, with that said, they're now saying 2 years, Eddy Reynoso. But Canelo Alvarez, according to sources, is more than open to the fight with David Benavidez. He's willing to make it happen. But Eddy Reynoso is the one that's hesitant. He's the trainer. Why is he hesitant? What does he see in David Benavidez that makes him so hesitant? Do he not feel like Canelo Alvarez could get the upper hand on David Benavidez? Do he think that David Benavidez is going to overwhelm him with his jab, with his length, with his power, with his hand speed? And ultimately, this is what it boils down to, is his confidence and his will. Canelo Alvarez is going to have to knock out David Benavidez. David Benavidez is going to come. He's not going to take a step back. Okay, Caleb Plant was a pure boxer trying to utilize the ring and move around the ring. Caleb Smith was hesitant to let his hands go, and Billy Joe Saunders seemed to not have a game plan at all overall. So what is it that they see in David Benavidez that makes him so hesitant? Because me personally, I think that Canelo Alvarez can win this fight against David Benavidez. I think he has everything it takes to beat David Benavidez. Now, David Benavidez yesterday against Kyron Davis, he did show me that he has improved, and he is conscious of the defensive lapses. But at times, Kyron Davis was throwing combinations with his hand speed, and he just didn't have the power. And he was clipping David Benavidez. We seen David Benavidez drop with a jab by Ronald Graville. Okay? So I think Canelo Alvarez hand speed, he's quick at bending at the hips. He has power, very high ring IQ. Okay? I think he has the complete package to beat, if anybody's going to beat David Benavidez, he has the package to beat David Benavidez because of David Benavidez's lapses on defense. So he has the complete package to offset David Benavidez. So what makes him so hesitant to get in the ring? Why is Eddy Reynoso so hesitant to make the fight happen with David Benavidez? That is the excuse that he's not ready. Well, what made Caleb Plant with 21 wins, no losses, no draws, and 12 wins by way of knockout, what made him ready? Because he only had one big fight in his career, and that was against Jose Uzcategui, and he was the underdog in that fight. So what made him ready? Age? Age don't make you ready. Level of opposition is what makes you ready. So May 7th, Cinco de Mayo weekend, this would be a huge fight. So this just goes to show that when David Benavidez was the champion, they just confirmed by Eddy Reynoso saying that David Benavidez is not ready. He simply confirmed that when David Benavidez was the champion, they had no interest in fighting him. By telling the world, if you don't have interest in fighting him right now, then you didn't have interest in fighting him. If you say he's not ready now, he'd be ready in 2 years, then that lets the world know that you wasn't interested in fighting him when he was the champion last year. You confirm what David Benavidez and the rest of the boxing world feels, that you are maneuvering around David Benavidez. But I believe Canelo Alvarez is going to force the hand and is going to push for this fight. I think he's going to accept this fight as he did when Cuban star boxer, superstar Erislandy Lara pushed for the fight against Canelo Alvarez, and he accepted against the wishes of Eddy Reynoso and the wishes of Oscar De La Hoya, who was his promoter at the time, and he told him to make the fight happen. I believe he's going to do the same thing with David Benavidez. This is a mega fight in Las Vegas, Nevada, T-Mobile Arena on Cinco de Mayo weekend. Yes, David Benavidez, he has everything. He's not going to take a step back like all the other Canelo Alvarez other opponents. But I do think his lapses on defense will come back and be his Achilles heel in this fight, and why Canelo Alvarez will be victorious. So let's see how this unfolds and plays out. That's all I got for y'all. Make sure you hit the like button. Drop a comment in the comment section. Let me know what y'all think. Y'all already know what it is. It's your boy Blue, Blue Blood Sports TV. Hate, like, comment, and subscribe. If you haven't subscribed, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, hit the bell icon to get all the new notification. Follow me on Instagram at Blue Blood Sports TV, all one word. Y'all already know what it is. Shouts out to the entire LDBC. Shouts out to New Media. Shouts out to Black Media Row. Make sure you like and share these videos. That's all I got for y'all. Peace.
Bump Garden, you're watching Blue Blood Sports TV. Wow.